Hello, and welcome to the Holy Collective. I am Loki Legionson, and this is the path of Lokianism. Enjoy. It is consciousness, or better yet, the collective consciousness, that has formed the reality, laws, and rules of gravity. It is the collective consciousness that makes or breaks our reality, not the individual. The individual consciousness is quite capable of many great things. It is society that keeps us weak and at war. We are only as strong as our weakest link. Therefore, we cannot progress into a world of peace and harmony until we are all on the same page of awareness. And that awareness will translate as the collective. And it is the collective that decides what we are capable of. And since we all fight over whose religion is right and which ones are wrong, then we wouldn't have the problems that we do. But as long as we continue as a collective to fight about this and that, especially religion, then we will never find peace and harmony. The world, however, will change when we all get on the same page. And the words on that page say, one, love, peace, love, unity, and respect for all of us. Whether we are aware of them or not, it is still going on and manifesting on individual levels, which feed into the collective levels of consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is still creating our world. So, become aware. Become aware of your intentions, because that's the only way to save this world, or yourself. We're only as strong and powerful as the weakest link. So get on board with yourself and others, and choose to harmonize with yourself. Choose to become at peace with yourself. And if we all truly choose peace, the world will become peaceful. Hence, world peace, or more realistically, world harmony. Perhaps it is the only ones with the intentions of peace who are to survive revelations. So become peaceful and save yourself. That is the whole idea. Don't rely on something external to save you, for only you can save yourself. It doesn't matter if we believe in the same exact things or not. We just have to understand and apply the same moral values. In order for a world of harmony, we must understand these differences, just like the differences in a language, or the differences in skin color, or the differences in town to town, city to city, place to place, thing to thing, this and that, and so goes it. However, these are all within the same atmosphere on the same planet called Earth. So essentially everything has its variables and variations, yet the thing we all have in common is this planet. So respect that and respect yourself. Agreeing to disagree is similar to different languages and dialects. And it doesn't matter what holy doctrine we live by, or which of the many names of God we pray to or fast to. Couldn't we all agree to live in harmony and save the fighting for sports entertainment? Be much better. We are extremely selfish men and women, and in constant competition, and we feel that we need to prove ourselves over and over again, thus spreading ourselves thin amongst other individuals, including ourselves. And when that breaks, it breaks who we are, and essentially we become down. So pick yourself back up, for only you're the one that's going to do it. You can post these things all day long about how the world sucks and how terrible things are, but essentially what it all comes down to is your perspective on how you view it all. For if your perspective sucks about the world and your intentions are not very high or esteemed or worthy, then your self-worth dwindles. And when it dwindles, you suffer. So stop suffering. Quit allowing yourself to suffer. For you are allowing yourself to suffer. Realize that. This land and this world belongs to all things. Ownership of the land was never intended. It is the corruptness of the greed, lust, and pride of mankind that intends ownership. And just like humans, we don't own our own spouse, our children. We don't even own ourselves. We have to give these bodies back to the earth once they've expired. We're just borrowing these human vehicles, vessels, chariots, or bodies. Agreements, bartering, and sharing is the true human way. Possession of people, places, and things is the extreme of excluding others for selfish, self-righteous self-indulgence. In our unwritten history of humanity, people began to explore and venture out further and further away. They encountered new conditions and situations, and rather than relying on basic principles, they adopted and adapted to aggressive actions and emotions in order to survive. The further away they traveled, the more their core belief systems changed into diverse belief systems, which caused their morals and values to alter, and eventually their exterior flesh transformed and evolved into a lighter color in the cooler northern climate. It is best not to discriminate based upon skin color, because we all started out the same shade, and the more we interracially connect, the more we are heading back to one matching color. Whether or not we ever, or our great-great-grandchildren, ever get to see that, doesn't matter. We're all one, and once you take away the physical vehicle, just like all passengers in the same vehicle, car, truck, or van, are all in separate seats, but are all traveling in the same physical direction. Now, the mind is a different category altogether, and that's because our levels of focus vary, which is probably why most don't believe world harmony is possible. Instead, sometimes we get stuck into this negative cycle of thinking as to that we need to be better than this individual or that individual, and that only hurts ourselves, because as we try to compare ourselves to others, it only detriments our situation, because we don't have a sense of forgiveness in that aspect. We don't see another point of view. All we see is our own selfish motives, and our selfish motives drive us to suffering. And in this world of diverse opinions and personalities, there is always a duality of contrast, and we should be grateful for that contrast. After all, contrast is what we rebirth to experience. We chose it. It was part of our soul contract, soul agreement, and purpose for life. And we must appreciate the totality of duality, which is chaos. For chaos is above, below, and in between the lines of duality. Chaos is both positive and negative, and in between, which is equal, as well as good and evil, slavery and freedom, conformity and anarchy, love and hate, black and white, and yet it is the gradients and shades of gray in between. We must accept and understand that all the gray or in-betweenness is moving in a progressive pattern back to the genesis of chaos. But before that happens, all that we see and stand for now must be destroyed and thus cleansed. Many times we spend so much of a portion of our life picking out all the things that are wrong with someone else, or wrong with this situation, or how it could have been better, or how bad your life sucks. And that's not the way to look at it. That's not following your purpose, your agreement, what you came here to do. You came here to experience the senses of the flesh. You came here to journey through this life cycle. You came here to love and to grow and to experience this from the inside perspective of a human body or chariot. So step outside the lines and learn to love and appreciate all that exists around you. Thank you for listening.